So you need the finger in on the trigger. That's it, and go back to D. Okay, so we're going to drive forward on and follow this curve round to the left. So I'm happy with the wing mirrors that you can see down the side, yeah? Yep. Okay. So follow around to the left.
So much more challenging is it in a Defender then when you've got to do it all yourself?
Well, it depends. It depends on your sort of experience doing off-roading. So, you know, with the Defender, you do kind of need to know what the vehicle's doing in terms of, you know, you have to choose the gear selection. You haven't got sort of any systems like terrain response working with you. Yeah. So you know, the more experience and kind of knowledge you have about off-roading techniques and the vehicle as a whole, you know, that does benefit you, the Defender. Whereas a lot of the systems are helping you out, and you know, they make up for that maybe slight lack of you know, vehicle knowledge, etc.
Does that make these cars more capable than a Defender?
It depends. You know, in my opinion, if you looked at, say, them on paper, you would think, well, this has got a bit of a deeper weight index. You've got, you know, the stats on these, you know, would look almost higher than a Defender. But in my opinion, you know, it's not about all the stats that make a great off-roader. You know, if you took a Defender down, we're going to follow it round to the right. Remembering when we're on this side slope, we need to bring in the brake just to maintain that steady, so not let any momentum build up.
So what would be your weapon of choice then? A 90 Defender
I've got
with
a
a
90
snorkel
myself.
And some proper tyres on it?
To be honest, standard out the box, you know, when I first, before I sort of had, you know, proper knowledge of these vehicles, before I worked for LandRover Experience, I thought that was the case. You know, if you buy one of these, the first thing you need to do is chuckle some kit on it for it to be anywhere near capable. But out of the box, you know, it seems Jaguar Land Rover do know what they're doing. They are pretty capable. And in my knowledge, kind of chucking kit on it unnecessarily just creates more of a hindrance than a, you know, makes just the car unreliable. But you know, putting something like a raised air intake on, as I said, with this vehicle, you know, you have ECUs, etc., in a Defender as well now, so it's not necessarily going to let you go through deeper water. Yeah. And also, changing the tyres certainly does make a difference, but you know, we've got road bias tyres on this vehicle, and we're able to get around this track without any problem. And if you're aware of Eastnor and their tracks up there, they've got road bias tyres on their vehicles, same ones as these. So they, you can get, you know, get through some pretty hairy terrain with some, you know, not without very aggressive tyres. However, if you're doing it very frequently, then you know, there is a benefit to having tyres like that, because they've got better self-cleaning, so they will gain you more grip in the long run. Yeah. And also the sidewalls are thicker, they're more durable. So yeah, you know, we do often exactly. So you know, the rocks that we were doing a bit earlier, going over there, if you were to make a bit of a mistake, you are in with these tyres, you know, more likely to say pierce the sidewall or something. Whereas on those off-road tyres, you know, if you're doing it regularly, you know, you make a bit of a mistake and it slips off, you know, they're a bit more forgiving. But I'm saying about the Defender, you know, it's my weapon of choice because as a whole it's perfect for an off-road rugged vehicle, because you can hose the inside out, you know, the way the panels are designed, etc. It can kind of shrug off, you know, some very, you know, harsh terrain. You know, these certainly can battle it with the rest of them. However, you know, with a Defender, with the way with its design being so utility, you're kind of a bit more, you know, a bit more ready to throw it into that real rough terrain, whereas these you can, you know, which
costs you a lot more money.
£400,000 you wouldn't be taking it round here, would you?
Well, that's it, round to the right. But as you can see, we've done all this, and you know, there's not an issue with the car. So
I went out in the Defender and had a ride drive experience through. This guy had his own little wood that we took through. It was exactly like you say. Yeah, it was quite good. Yeah. It was his preference because he didn't like to knock the bits of plastic off this one.
Yeah, well, you know, it's all relative. You know, if I was doing just overlanding trips and I was doing a lot of mileage and etc., then a Discovery 4 would be ideal, because you know, still very comfortable. You know, you've got the performance there. You know, it's certainly got the capability and fantastic loads of storage. Whereas if I was saying, well, I'm, you know, driving through forest tracks every day, chucking logs in the back of the car, you know, maybe a Discovery isn't the one, because you know, with the Defender you've got, you know, you can get the design's a vehicle where you can just have, you know, an empty load bed in the back, and you know, branches scraping along, you're not going to be too worried.
How did the old Sport deal with this?
The
320.
Yeah, the previous models of this one, yeah, it was no problem. The previous model Sport was an awesome vehicle, yeah, and you know, they've taken what was already a fantastic vehicle and, you know, made it even better, which you know, you always wonder if it's possible, but they seem to do it every time. You know, with these being monocoque, all aluminium build, so they're lighter, so increased performance. You know, increase in miles per gallon as well, and then to the left, and the braking distance reduced as well. So pulling it around to the left, very gradual. So if we left hand down, left hand down, left hand down, left, 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 brake, brake, brake. So nice and slow now, real slow. So you can really feel, you know, it's nice and tedious. Turning to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. That's that way, yeah. Because what can happen is we'll go too far at the side, and that's the angle we don't want to do. Okay. So creeping forward nice and slow. So at this point as well, there's a risk of you can get some big kickback in the steering wheel, so having a good grip of it as well is going to reduce the risk of that. And this is once again where it gets quite narrow as we go through some of these bits of track. So using the wing mirrors to look down the side of the vehicle, for example, so you can run this bend. Of course, don't forget the front side of the vehicle as well. You don't want to get too close to the far bank. I think you know, with the vehicles, there's usually either, you know, a couple or, you know, one vehicle that will be perfectly suited to what someone needs. You know, if they're after a LandRover product. You know, with the Defender, like I say, it's a real good utility vehicle. Whereas the Discovery, it's a kind of lifestyle vehicle. You know, you can use it as an everyday. Yet, you know, when it does need to, you know, pull the sleeves up and really work hard, it's ideal. Same with these cars. You know, these fantastic towing, etc. But you know, that level of luxury is, you know, put up a notch as well.
Do you ever find the need that you need the V8 power for round here? Was that not an issue?
I would say no. You know, when we're off road, the V8's yep straight on, and what we can do now is go into the auto train response. So if we push this, so if we push that down, that'll put us into auto train response. So now the car's automatically going to detect the terrain. So as you go over these rocks, for example, it will pick it up and choose the relevant program for us. The V8, no. Short answer, no. I find the diesel, I mean, especially this, you know, the SDV6 and this is a phenomenal engine. You know, 292 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in about 6.9 seconds. So, you know, with the supercharge being 5.1 or so. So, you know, it's not a huge difference. So the performance of this diesel is pretty phenomenal. And off-road, it gives us real good low down, you know, nice torque. The V8 will have no problem getting around here, but it doesn't give us any advantages off-road. So, you know, if you only buy it for that purpose, there isn't, you know, the real, you know, plus for that is obviously the performance that it gives you, and also it makes fantastic sound as well. So, round to the right-hand side.
I can't imagine why you'd need much more, because surely you get to the point where actually you'd run out of traction before you make use of the extra.
You know, and I think in the climate that we have now, so mind we're not getting too close to this side yet. The track goes all the way over that way. It's kind of the preference, isn't it? You know, you over to the left of it. It's very close to this. But well, you know, there's those who are big fans of, you know, the power and the V8. Same reason you buy like an AMG Mercedes. You know, it's not because you need to be able to go 200 miles an hour. You know, it's because it's a nice performance car. It's the same with these. You know, they are a fantastic sounding engine, and the performance of them is astounding. So all the way off that brake, all the way off the brake. Off the brake, off the brake. Yeah, that's it.
It does it for you.
Yeah, that's it. The hill descent control. Yeah, it does it all for you as you're going along. So following the track along, and then we'll be turning to the left. So we've also got another feature called wade sensing on here. It's one we brought out with the RangeRover Sport. So if I press this button here down the right hand corner,
is that the thing in the wing mirrors again?
It certainly is. So you've got wade sensing. It sends pulses of sonar down from the wing mirrors, which then bounce off the water, which give you then in real time where the water's coming up. The red dotted line is obviously your maximum wading depth. So as we said, it comes up to about the top of the wheel arch there. You've got the tone working away, so giving you then to the left.
I was a bit disappointed you didn't go out with your willies and check the stick on that other one.
Well, see, a bit of track knowledge, you see. So I've done that earlier. Yeah, here's one I prepared earlier. Over to the right, just a fraction.
Wade sensing not available over 10-degree gradient. So how does that help you with entry and exit Well, certainly entry into water.
Because in theory, the water's going to be deeper up as you go into the water, whereas these are picking up as you're going straight down. So it won't give you an accurate reading, so it just doesn't give you one until you're
So you still need your stick?
Oh, absolutely. You know, if you're not willing to go into that water, you know, in your wellies, are you willing to throw possibly an £80,000, you know, vehicle in there before you checked it? So that's giving you an idea of where the water's coming up on the vehicle once you're in the water.
Always fancy riding my mountain bike round here.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Likewise.
I'm putting it around to the right again.
Perhaps that nice rocky descent that was around over here.
Let's just look at that now.
Alright, pausing just there for me.
Yep.
We back up just a fraction, we'll let them come down. Yeah, we can back up and you can then make your way past. So if we back up, because they're just going to come down the hill in front of us, so we'll give them it. So it gives us a chance to take a look at the reverse camera. So if you start making your way back, you've got tracking lines here, so as you turn the wheel, it shows you where the actual wheel line is going to go, and this is the outside, the parameter of the body. So if we just keep going straight for the moment, and then we're going to aim to head towards this direction here.
Okay.
So keep going back, and what we'll actually do is go back and then we'll head up that way towards the track. So keep going a little bit further and pausing just there, into drive, and then turning left.
You know the climb that I went down, can this go up it?
That's very steep slope.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you know, if there was enough traction there, it probably could. It's certainly got the power to. However, you know, the risks of going up there, it just far outweighs, you know, what we're trying to achieve and show here. So, but you know, I would, you know, if I was to guess, if your life depended, I'm sure you'd find a way up there. Yeah. But you know, we don't do it because we're obviously wanting to show the capabilities, and there's enough risks as it is, you know, to try and go slopes like that. If something was to go wrong in terms of, you know, if traction was to go wrong or the wrong pedal was pressed, etc., you know, it just doesn't, you know, warrant.
Have you had a crafty go?
Going up the slope?
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly say.
I've got a video of an L320. It's in Brazil, and it's going up. First, it goes up this slope.
Yeah.
It's basically just like this mountainside, and it must be somewhere close to. It must be at least 40 degrees, I'd think.
Yeah.
And it goes up it, and then you see the other video of it coming down it. And as they come down, you can see the hill descent control working. The rear wheels come off the ground, and it must be so close to losing. It's absolutely phenomenal what it does.
Flatter level will then come to a stop. It's no, I mean the hill descent control is an awesome feature. It really does. You know, again, it brings in that element of, say, pausing there, and once we stopped, press P. You know, if you're in a Defender, for example, you need to be using engine braking, so you'd use first